1% of dudes rapping, they ain't nice as me. 98% ain't lived the same type of life as me. The judge gave me life and then they sent me where the life is be. That level 4 with depth and vice, the type of stuff they like to see. Two choices, fight or flee. I refuse to die a chump. I never been a mark, but damn, it's scary when that riot jump. I seen dudes cry, get pumped, and some sexually brutalized. Knew a dude who lost his life and he was only doing 5 year-long racial fights when homie all you do is ride. Lonely days and nights up in a hole causing suicide. From the moment you arrive, you see the Mexican mafia, AB skinheads with big giant swastikas, pro-black philosophers, the BGF, the Kumi, and Muslims who will murk you from the nation to the Sunni. That MS was loony, quick to ride up on they rival. Even Christians went to church, hide knives up in they Bible. Political and tribal, the Crips and Damus, the Long Beach, the Hubs and the Dubs and the Grooves, the IE, the Bakersfield, the Dago Pyrus, the Hustlers quick to roll, the gangsters don't move, whatever click you choose.
Say, what's cracking, YouTube? It's your boy 16 to Life, and I'm back like I'm on a parole violation. Yard down. Now, for those of y'all that's new to my page, in 1994, I got arrested. I was eventually sentenced to 16 years plus life, and I served 24 years straight in the California prison system. Yeah, that's me gassing right there on that intro. And if you want to get that song, hit me up on my email at 16tolifemusic@gmail.com, and I'm going to give you the information on how to get it. Now, let's get into this video right here. While it seems, or while it may seem, before today or yesterday actually, that things could not get any worse for Big U, they definitely have. We already know that he's locked up in the feds right now, fighting some serious charges that could put him away for the rest of his life. And it seems like the feds are not playing. They are coming at Big U with everything they have, right? And so now I'm going to give you a summary of the latest update involving that situation. And these allegations and charges are extremely, extremely serious. So let me read to you guys what I got. In a major development that happened just yesterday, federal prosecutors expanded their case against Eugene Big U Henley Jr. by obtaining a second superseding indictment, adding 7 new felony charges, including allegations of witness tampering and solicitation to commit a violent crime. The grand jury returned the indictment on July 29th, and the charges became part of that federal case at that point. Henley has pleaded not guilty, and the new allegations remain unproven unless and until they are established in court. On July 29th, 2026, a federal grand jury returned a second superseding indictment against Eugene Big U Henley Jr., adding 7 new felony charges to the federal racketeering case that was originally filed in 2025. A superseding indictment is essentially an updated charging document. It does not mean that a defendant has been convicted or found guilty. Instead, it means that federal prosecutors believe they have uncovered additional evidence or additional criminal conduct that they contend should be added to the existing case. In this latest indictment, prosecutors added allegations involving witness tampering, solicitation to commit a violent crime, interstate prostitution, conspiracy, and wire fraud. Perhaps the most significant new allegation is prosecutors claim that while awaiting trial in federal custody, Henley attempted to arrange for a government witness to be seriously injured or unalived before that witness could testify against him. Now, it's important to remember that these are allegations made by the federal prosecutor. Eugene Henley Jr. has pled not guilty, and like every defendant charged with a crime, he is presumed innocent unless and until the government proves the allegations beyond a reasonable doubt in court. Now, I'm going to break down these charges for you guys. Count 44, solicitation to commit a crime of violence. Federal prosecutors allege that while housed in the federal custody, Henley attempted to persuade another inmate to commit a violent crime against a government witness. According to the prosecutors, the purpose of the alleged solicitation was to prevent that witness from appearing in federal court and testifying during the upcoming RICO trial. If convicted, this offense carries a potential sentence of up to 20 years in federal prison, although the actual sentence would depend on the specific statute, the facts proven at trial, and the federal sentencing guidelines. Count 45. This count is similar to count 44. The government alleges Henley made a similar request to another inmate, claiming he attempted to enlist more than one individual in carrying out the attack against the same witness. Like count 44, this count also carries a potential sentence of up to 20 years in prison if convicted. Count 46, witness tampering. This charge alleges that Henley knowingly attempted to influence, intimidate, or prevent a government witness from testifying in an official federal proceeding. Federal law treats witness tampering very seriously because it could strike at the integrity of the judicial system. Depending on the circumstances proved at a trial, this offense can carry a sentence of up to 20 years, and in some circumstances involving attempted killing or other aggravating factors, the statutory penalties could be even more severe. Count 47, witness tampering. This is a second witness tampering charge based on a separate alleged act involving the same witness. Prosecutors contend that there were multiple actions supporting separate witness tampering counts. Like count 46, this charge carries a potential sentence of up to 20 years, depending on the statute under which the government ultimately proves its case. Count 48, conspiracy to transport an individual in interstate commerce for prostitution. Federal prosecutors also expanded the indictment by alleging Henley participated in a conspiracy involving the transportation of an individual across state lines for purposes of prostitution. This allegation builds upon conduct prosecutors contend was already part of a broader racketeering enterprise. If convicted, this charge carries a potential sentence of up to 10 years in federal prison. Count 49, wire fraud. This charge alleges that Henley participated in a scheme involving electronic communications connected to fraudulent applications for federal COVID-19 Economic Injury Disaster Loan, EIDL funds. Wire fraud is commonly charged whenever prosecutors allege that interstate electronic communications such as emails, online applications, or electric fund transfers were used in carrying out a fraud. Wire fraud carries a maximum penalty of up to 20 years in federal prison, along with substantial financial penalties if convicted. Count 50, wire fraud. The final new charge alleges another separate act of wire fraud involving the same alleged scheme. According to prosecutors, this represents another electronic transmission connected to the alleged fraud. Like count 49, this offense carries a potential sentence of up to 20 years in federal prison. Of course, they're talking about he's trying to have someone unalive to prevent them from testifying in this case. And so who is the victim or victim number one? One of the biggest unanswered questions in this new indictment is the identity of the government witness, referred to throughout the charging document as victim number one. The federal indictment does not identify this person by name. Instead, prosecutors describe victim one as a music promoter and a nightclub promoter operating in the Los Angeles area. According to the indictment, prosecutors allege that this individual was extorted over a period of years and eventually became an important cooperating witness in the government's racketeering investigation. This indictment alleges, while awaiting trial in federal custody, Big U attempted to learn where victim one was housed and sought assistance from fellow inmates to have the witness seriously injured or killed before trial. Those allegations formed the basis for the newly added solicitation and witness tampering charges. It is important to note that the government has not publicly identified victim number one by name, and no court filing publicly confirms the witness's identity. While there has been speculation online, those reports have not been confirmed in the indictment itself. These 7 new charges significantly expand what was already one of the highest profile federal gang prosecutions in Los Angeles. The government's theory is that these alleged acts were committed in an effort to protect the alleged racketeering enterprise and interfere with the upcoming trial. Big U, or Henley, denies the allegations, and he has pled not guilty, and of course will have the opportunity to challenge every piece of this evidence presented against him. Ultimately, it will be up to a federal jury to decide whether prosecutors have proven these charges beyond a reasonable doubt. So currently, I believe that Big U is around 58 years old right now, right? So even if he happened to get found guilty of just the wire fraud charge alone, that carries 20 years, right? And then, of course, when you're doing Fed times, I believe it's 80 or 85%, somewhere around there, right? So that's maybe about 17 years, eight months, somewhere around there. At the age of 58, that's just definitely not a good look, man. 58, 68, what that would take him to what, somewhere about 75 years old. So, not counting on top of the things that he's already facing, right? This situation right here has definitely added another dark cloud over the entire situation. And to me, it seems like Big U just can't catch a break in relation to this case going on right here. And it's just looking like a very hard situation to try to climb out of and just beat every single charge. He has so many different things stacked against him, right? So now obviously it appears to me, I'm no lawyer, but obviously it appears to me that they must have some type of information in order to file these witness tampering charges against him. This is just not a charge that appears up out of thin air. There must either be some cooperation on some part, or there must be some type of communication that they have got and intercepted. Either some letters or something, or some talkings over the phone. There has to be something, because the stuff that I read. And so while I'm reading it, I'm not paying a lot of attention because I'm just trying to read it, but I'm hearing it. But it says that, it was alleged that he tried to solicit the help of somebody else involved in the lockup facility that he's in as well, right? Trying to have this other individual who's also locked up, injured, or unalive, right? So at some point in time, anybody who has a little common sense about the law has to understand that these are charges that just don't appear out of thin air. Once again, there must either be some type of cooperation, or there must be some type of knowledge that was intercepted in order for them to take this information to the grand jury, and then the grand jury come back on the 29th with a second superseding indictment. So there has to be something going on, right? So ultimately, we just have to sit back and see how this situation plays out. It's looking very, very ugly, and I'm not gonna lie, that is not a position I would want to be in. Anyway, you already know what it is. It's your boy 16 to life. Resume normal program.